Hello. At Dupaco, supporting our communities goes beyond financial contributions. In this brief video, you'll learn about one of our award programs, the Gift of Innovation, that offers a unique opportunity designed to spark fresh ideas and drive meaningful impact. I'm Michelle Beckwar. I'm with Dupaco Credit Union, and we've partnered with the Innovation Lab to provide these innovation services. And joining me today is Eric Dregney, the director of the Innovation Lab.
Hey, Michelle.
Thank you for joining.
You bet.
Eric's going to be able to really provide information on what these sessions are and give you some good ideas about how you as a nonprofit might take advantage of them. So just quickly, for those of you who may not be familiar with Dupaco Credit Union, we are a member-owned, not-for-profit financial cooperative. Our service area or our field of membership is the state of Iowa, and then counties in the southwest Wisconsin and northwest Illinois. And our vision as an organization is to build a brighter community for all. And one way we do this and work toward this is by investing in nonprofits in our communities. And Eric, if you could, a little bit about the Innovation Lab.
Yeah, you bet. The Innovation Lab is a network of spaces that provides innovation services and entrepreneurship services right here in Iowa. So we actually have locations in Dubuque, in Dyersville, in Monticello, and Independence.
Great, thank you. So just a couple key points about the program and why we're doing this. So a significant number of households in our communities are facing financial hardship. They're either living in poverty or they're struggling to meet the financial needs of just basic everyday essentials while also trying to plan for the future. So in general, our goal is to invest in areas that can have an impact on helping build people's financial future. And those three areas are affordable housing and home ownership, upskilling and reskilling, and small business development. However, I want you to please note that this program, the Gift of Innovation, does not need to align with those three pillars. So I wanted to call that out specifically, that as a nonprofit, you do not need to provide services within those three areas. This is really Dupaco's way of providing upskilling opportunities in the communities we serve. The other thing is there was some confusion last year, the first year that we rolled it out, that this was a monetary grant. This is not a monetary grant. What it is a grant of an innovation service. So we just want to make sure that's clear for everyone as well. And then as a nonprofit, you just must be an active 501c3 public charity. So the goals today of this video really are just to give you a better insight on what the service is and how you might use it. We have all the details of the grant program on our website, so we're just going to really run through those areas for you. This year's program, we're doing 3 innovation sessions that we're awarding out. So we're doing the full day, the 2-day, and the 1-year capacity builder. And Eric's going to give you a little information about each of those sessions.
Yeah, you bet. These are all very cool. You can go as deep or as shallow as you want to with any of the sessions, but some of them work better for some things than others. So I'll just talk about each one and you can start to think about how they might fit with your organization. The full day session can be for a small group all the way up to a large group if you want to include your board and some stakeholders. You know, that's when you see up to 50 in the room, helping you think about, generally we like to say in a day, we can do 2 or 3 specific challenges around, things that you really want to work on. So maybe not an entire strategic plan, but maybe just looking at your organization and say, hey, you know what, if we could do better in this area or that area, the full day session would be a great fit. Then there's a 2-day strategic session. This is a perfect fit for a full strategic plan. Again, you can engage as few or as many stakeholders as you want. If you want your whole board engaged and maybe some external partners, or if you just want to do this with a team, a smaller team of staff, for example, all of that works. Again, it could be delivered in person and virtually, by the way. Last one, same thing. In person is better. In the sense that I think it's a great team building experience along with getting some strategy out of it. But if you want to do it virtually, we can do that as well. Then this 2-day session, because we have more time, we can think about your whole organization. We can think about everything from your operational practices to your programmatic practices to how you develop and raise funds to how you build partnerships. And we can accomplish all of that in 2 days.
Thank you for pointing out too. I wanted to make that mention before you started. So virtual or in person. So if you can't get everyone together at your organization's location, and it doesn't need to be on site in Dubuque at your spot either, it's
No.
on site at your location or virtual. So thank you for bringing that up.
Yeah, with this year's grantees, almost all of them I've traveled to,
Yep.
because your territory is all across Iowa and into southern Wisconsin. And so we've been to Madison and we've been to the other side of Iowa and back. And we're doing a few right here in Dubuque too, because the team wanted to come into our space. Then this one-year capacity builder is just something completely different. This is a really unique and special opportunity. We've learned over time that as we've been working with either entrepreneurs or corporations over the course of an entire year, sometimes helping them think through not just strategy, but maybe personnel development or other elements of their organization, that having a regular touch can matter, and having ongoing coaching, either for key members of the team that are leading the work or key members of the team that have to implement the change, can be a really great thing. So you'll see here on this slide, again, you can engage as big or small a group. It can be in person or virtual, but you also get some really cool things here over the course of a year. So one-on-one coaching, typically kind of monthly, a check-in with maybe champions of different pieces of the work that we've designed together over the year. Goal setting with the board and key stakeholders, typically again up front, so that we plan how we want to use this fabulous service for the whole year. And a lot of times that's a combination of strategic planning, but then also just planning how to use this session. And then group innovation sessions. So these are just ideation sessions, usually, where along the way we're like, you know what, we need to figure this out. Let's bring the right group of people together, craft some solutions, and then begin implementing them right away. And then for organizations that need it, we're pros in helping organizations actually develop their business model and think through, like, how do we get paid, and where is our money going, and why do we keep running out, those kinds of things. So we can do business development sessions over the course of the year to really help you get your financial plan on track, and then align that with your strategic plan.
That's great. Thank you. And, it's really important. We think this program is so valuable because we know nonprofits typically are running pretty lean, and they don't always have the funds or the budget to put aside for this type of service or this type of professional development. So that's where Dupaco really feels strongly that we want to help also help the nonprofits doing this great work in the community kind of get their own professional development, help them be as good as they can be as well. So we're going to give you some real world examples here. These are just examples. Again, Eric's going to talk through those, and by no means are these the only way you can use the session. But these are 3 of our award winners from last year's grant program. And if you want to read the whole thing, the Innovation Lab does have these case studies up on their website, but Eric's going to talk just briefly.
Yeah, so like Michelle said, we actually write up a case study about each of the organizations we work with and the challenge they had and what we do. These are snippets from that. You can see them all on our website. So as you're thinking about your grant, you'll see lots of other examples besides the kinds of challenges here. In this case, though, this group, the Macaulay Center, Catherine Macaulay Center, they're a long-standing organization. They'd worked with homeless women for decades in Cedar Rapids. And then as immigration challenges grew to be more and more of a need in Cedar Rapids, they began taking on that work and actually doubled in size as an organization. Then when the funding was cut to support their immigration work, they had to figure out how to shrink in size. I'm going through that in a diet scenario right now. You can cut that if you want to, but I think it's funny. Anyway, they had to shrink in size back to focusing on their work with homeless women. And it wasn't just a matter of saying, well, just stop doing that over there. Their facilities had changed, their staff had changed, their board had changed, their financial model had changed. They had moved away from things they were doing in the past. And so they had to figure out how to get back on track. And we spent their session working on that.
Great, thank you.
This next one is a group, Project Iowa. They are a workforce development organization. They actually help people who need extra supports transitioning into the workforce. And they had a similar story. Their mission didn't double and go off on a tangent, but there were lots of small things sort of along the sidelines of their core work on workforce issues that had come along over the years. And they really needed to get back to that focus. And they use the data to really identify the 2 or 3 most important program topics that they needed to work on. And then we spent most of the day after that, so a little bit of the day identifying those 3 things because that was pretty clear to them, but then really saying, well, how do we engage donors and stakeholders and other partners in this work in a way that can make our work more effective? So it was a sort of a good to great type of challenge for them.
And our last example.
And last but not least is the Fields of Sinsinawa. So they're a new nonprofit, just a couple of years old. They focus on soil regeneration. They had never had a strategic plan. They had just been a group of people who got together and started doing this good work and realized they needed some more specific focus, and they needed some strategies to attract donors and even a membership idea to their organization. And so that's what we created. They left that day with 3 key focus areas and a membership model that they were going to begin testing, along with a development strategy that they could implement to connect donors to their work.
That's great. Thank you. And again, just examples of how you might be able to use it, but we want to just give you an idea. Sometimes it's easier to hear something that really happened than just reading it on the paper.
Yeah, and it's not on your slide, Michelle, but like tomorrow, I'm actually going to go work with another group, and they're just working on one strategy that they were spending the day, and there's just one thing they want to do better, and they've got a mix of their staff and board together for the day, and that's what we're going to do. So we'll do some ideation sessions in the first part of the day, generating ideas around how that can work, and then we'll be laying out action steps that they can take to implement those ideas.
Great.
So, that's just another way. It's not a strategic plan, right?
Yep.
It's just a way to be more strategic in
And it's
one aspect of your
one
work.
aspect, not necessarily your whole
Yes.
organization too. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of different ways.
And when you're awarded a grant, we hang out, we do a mapping session, and we help you figure that out. So when you're writing the grant, think about all the possibilities, I would say.
Yep.
And you'll be asked to think about even, which of these services you think fit, and feel free to check a couple.
Yep.
And we'll help you sort through that.
Yeah, that's what I was going to get to that point later. On the application, we do ask you to choose which session or sessions you would be most interested in. And then during the evaluation process, and Eric is part of that evaluation, we take what you've given us and try to determine from Eric's experience as well what might be the best fit for a session, because we do give a variety out. We don't give out all one-year capacity builders, so it is a mix of the 3 different sessions. But we try to, whatever the top applicants are, we try to figure out the best fit of session based on the information you've given us. So where can you find this? I guess before we can find this information, it's the valuation criteria. So it really is, there's preference to nonprofits that operate in the communities where we have a physical branch, but it is open to any nonprofit within our geographic area that I shared before. The organizational readiness capacity to participate, that really comes down to some of the points, Eric, you made earlier about you can have these sessions be as small or as big, but you want to make sure you've got the right people and committed people, because it does take time. It's either a full day, 2 days, and there's still additional work as well. But to really get the most out of these sessions, you want to have the right people there helping make those decisions or generating those ideas.
Yeah, for sure. I think having your board, be aware and involved in thinking about what you're going to apply for would be a great step to make sure you feel like you're ready.
Great, thank you. Now, where can you find it? So it's on our website, dupaco.com. If you go to the main navigation under community, you'll see our grants and scholarships If you click on there, you'll see the gift of innovation. So that page will have all of the details. This video, again, was really just meant to give you a better idea of the sessions themselves. And the application opens, I believe, October 1st this year. So quickly on the application itself, you do need to log in and create a profile. So if you have never applied with us before, you will need to create a profile. And this is where you can see that on the top right. If you've already got one, you can just log in and then apply, but otherwise you need to create a profile and then you can go ahead and log in and apply. And finally, please reach out with questions. If you have questions before you fill an application out, reach out to us. There is the email address. Jennifer Faley and myself will be on hand to answer any of those questions. And if there's questions we can't answer, we'll definitely be reaching out to Eric for any additional feedback. Thank you very much.